Hello everyone! Today I will be reviewing Girls of Fate and Fury by Natasha Na. It's a young adult book and it is the last one in the series Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Na. Anyway, I'm really glad I stuck through and read all three books because out of the three of them, this is by far my favorite. So, the last Lee saw of the girl she loved, Ren was fighting an army of soldiers in a furious battle to the death. With the two girls torn apart and each in terrorizing peril, will they find each other again or have their destinies diverged forever? So the two girls are separated in this book because they get separated at the end of the last book. I will put the links for the book 1 and 2 reviews that I already did in the comments below, so you can check those out when you have time, if you want to. So they're separated already. Lee has been kidnapped and brought back to the palace, and Ren is with her father planning the final attack from the outside. Lee realizes that they're not going to kill her right away, that they have plans for her, so she tries to help out from the inside any way she can, find information, stuff like that. The book, because the girls are separated, splits into the chapters where we do a few chapters from Lee and then we do a few chapters from Ren. So the ones that are from Lee's point of view are first person, so it's all from Lee's point of view. The ones from Ren's point of view are third person, like someone's narrating it, which is a little weird, not too bad. A little different, that's all. Yes, so there's a lot more fighting in this book, a lot more battle planning and strategy. You can see the final growth of the characters from when they were from the first book to the third book, how well they've grown and changed. This one, the whole series still has that topic of how people change and deal with and learn from trauma, and the growth they get from how they deal with the trauma, how they overcome the trauma, personal trauma, physical trauma, all the same way. And it's different, like there's more than one type of trauma in the book that they talk about. They also discuss how some people do bad things for a good reason and trying to determine if it's a good enough reason to merit doing the bad things, which is one of those, tricky lines to walk down. Like, is it morally responsible to be doing these bad things? But the end result is technically for the better of everyone. So that's another one of the main things that's brought up way more in the third book as opposed to the other two. Like I said before, I'm so glad I stuck to this book, to the whole series, to get all three of them done. The third one is by far my favorite. It's still pretty descriptive. She does a good job. Natasha does a good job of describing things in the world. It's the Asian-based fantasy world where there's magic. If you haven't, by this point you should know about the three castes. The humans, which are paper cased, the steel cased, and the moon cased, which are demons, and the types of magic that are in the world. This book, there's they wrap up a bunch of twists that were in the not twists, the little mysteries and stuff. Like they start talking about something and then they stop because something happens and you're like, well, what was that about? Are we going to find out? They wrap all that up in this book, so you get to learn all the little things that you were wondering about in the first two books. They wrap that up quite nicely. I got all the feels and emotions from this one, especially near the end. It's war. There's a lot of deaths and injuries, and you don't always know who is going to come out in the end. She's not afraid, I should say, she's one of those people who's not afraid to make you think she might have killed off a main character. I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to say if you just think that, well, actually I am saying it. I am saying it. You don't know, she's just making you think she killed them off. But, yeah. There was a good wrap-up at the end. Where, like, after everything is finally settled and the main fight is over, there's a little after section where they do, like, 3 months later kind of thing, and you get to see where all the characters are and how their lives are going and how they've sort of wrapped it up. I kind of like that. I really, really hate when a book leaves way too much to the imagination. You're like, well, I'd like to think everything's working out good because it's supposed to be a happy ending, but is it really? Like, I don't know. So when books do a nice wrap-up like that, it makes me so happy. There's still the girls having intimate, because they do get reunited, obviously, near the end, and they do have some intimate time, but again, it's the fade to black scenes, like in the other books. I don't really know. I think that's it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, because I think I've mentioned everything. I would rate this book 5 stars, but the series overall 3.5. The last book definitely sold the series for me. It does have some very important topics, like dealing with trauma, abuse, and things like that. So and especially in this day and age, when that's a big thing for people to learn how to deal with their trauma and get over it instead of pushing it down and ignoring it. So it's a good book to read, especially this day and age. I find it very, very important topics that are in it. So I would definitely recommend it to a lot of people, especially if you feel like you connect with that. If you feel like you connect with the learning from trauma and how people grow and how they deal with it. It's nice to see that the main character, Lee, how she went through that trauma, how she dealt with the trauma, how she learned to cope and get over it and grow and become a better person. A lot of stories, they don't always deal with stuff like that. They just go right to the main plot line, like the main fighting and all that stuff. But this one has that hidden message underneath, which is very important, especially to a lot of the younger audience. Like, they need to see that. They need to read books where it's not hidden and it's out there for people to talk about, because we need to talk about stuff like that. It's important to us. Yeah. I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please like the video, subscribe to me so you can see all my other book reviews. I have an Instagram and a Patreon account. The links for those will be in the description below as well. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next video.